It's Hans George Campbell, and I wanted to show you guys this Atari ST lot that I just now picked up. A guy in Estacada, I believe is where he's from, Estacada, Oregon. He dropped this off, and I paid him $150 for the computer, the color monitor, 2 disk drives, and some other stuff that I'm going to show you, the mouse and some other stuff that I'm going to show you today. So I paid him $150 basically for the whole Atari ST system, which is a really good deal for an Atari ST computer. And I also paid him because he was willing to bring his stuff to my shop. I didn't have to drive down there to pick it up. I paid him an extra 25 bucks for gas and for lunch, whatever, you know. So basically $175 for everything that I'm going to show you today. The monitor appears to be in really good shape. It does work. He showed it working. It does work. I just need to get all this stuff off here and clean up really good. And next year, this will be one of the things I'll recap. I'll recap this this monitor. Because out of all the Atari monitors, this is my favorite. It's called the ET head monitor. I think this monitor has the nicest picture and the most vibrant colors. So this is my favorite Atari ST monitor. Plus, this monitor very closely matches the Atari monochrome monitor, which I also use. So, yeah. We're going to take a look inside this Atari 520ST computer, because the guy did say that there were some upgrades that was done to this computer, so we're going to take a look at that right now. But before we get into the computer, I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff that's sitting down there in the box. So, let's get started. Alright, so let's take a look at what's in this box. I got, of course, the mouse. It's yellowed, but I think it'll clean up. It'll clean up. And the Teflon on the bottom here is actually still in pretty good shape, so I think when I clean up this mouse, it should work really well because the ball looks really good. The insides of this is pretty clean, not bad. And the secret of cleaning up these cables to make them look like new again is you just use Magic Eraser. A Magic Eraser to clean up those cables like brand new. And it'll also clean up a lot of this, like the mouse, the plastic and everything. Of course, I'm going to take this mouse completely apart, and I'll wash the plastic in the kitchen sink. I usually fill it up with water. I use a combination of Dawn dishwashing liquid and Ajax, just a little bit of Ajax, and mix it really good in the warm water. And then it usually cleans this plastic really good. You know, and of course the cord I'll clean with a Magic Eraser. And by the time I finish with this mouse, it'll look like new. Even though it's slightly yellowed, you know, it'll still look like new. I'm not sure if retro brighting works on this gray plastic or not. You know, so you guys let me know in the comments if you think retro brighting will work on this gray plastic, you know, to get it back to the original gray color. Anyway, there's the mouse. And let's see. I've got a US Robotics 56K modem. I'll clean this up really good because I've got more feet for this, I think. I'm not sure though. Maybe it came like that. But anyway, I've got Let me bring it closer. You can maybe possibly read that. Yeah. Old US Robotics 56K modem. I mean, I remember when this was the thing that we had to use. I mean, even in the early days of the internet, I'm sure most of you guys also were still using a 56K modem during your early years of the internet. So, yeah. This is before, like, you know, what was it, DSL and cable modem and all that stuff that we have today, you know. I may still hang on to this modem because I was thinking about setting up like an Amiga BBS, and I'll also have Commodore 64 software on that BBS and pictures and stuff like that, music files and stuff like that on the BBS. And I'm hoping that 56K will be fast enough for that. You guys let me know what you think about that. But anyway, I'll at least have this displayed out here in the shop, or you know, have this thing displayed because I think it's pretty cool. I'll take it apart and wash the case really good, clean it up really good, or maybe just a sponge bath is all it needs, and I have it on display out here in the shop. Alrighty, what next? Well, we got a bunch of copies of software. Yeah, I'm a pirate. I don't mind copies. We've got what? Dungeon Master data. Let's see, data disk. Dungeon Master hint disk. Dungeon Master save disk. Boy, somebody was really in the Dungeon Master. Well, the Atari ST version of Dungeon Master is the best version of that game. I actually think it's better than the Amiga version. Here's Flight Simulator 2, which is awesome on the Atari ST. We got Wheel of Fortune, Outrun, Rig Dangerous, Chess. I don't know what version of Chess that is. 1943. We'll be taking a look at all this software when I set up my Atari ST out here in the shop. Monopoly. I wonder if that's David Addison's Monopoly. Yeah, because that's one of the best versions of Monopoly. David Addison's Monopoly. Yeah, that would be so cool. Right here we got Word Writer 64. Huh. Menu program. What? Floppy, cat program, DC extract, link program and docs. I don't know what that's all about. Arkanoid 2. Flash. I think that's like a telecommunications program if I remember correctly. Atari Flash. Word Writer with spell checker. Elevator Action. Leatherneck. Jet. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And Major Motion. An actual working copy. It says it right there, man. Working copy, man. Okay, we'll put these back in a Ziploc bag. And, you know, I actually have a disc bank I can put these in. But for the time being, I'll just put them back in this Ziploc bag. It's literally a Ziploc bag. You see that? Look at that. It's literally a Ziploc bag. Alright, so we got those. Now we do have some original discs right here. We do have some original discs. Yeah, I do like getting original discs. I really do. We've got Paperboy. I'll be showing all these games and stuff on my Atari ST computer. We got Ice Hockey right there. Ice hockey. The original Dungeon Master disc, right there. Oh yeah. Now, I will tell you an interesting story about Dungeon Master. When I used to manage software pipeline in Clackamas. So stay tuned for that that interesting story, which I'll probably be talking about when I show this game on the Atari ST. Okay, Atari ST Hot Wheels? I wonder if that's like Mattel's Hot Wheels, you know? And we got ST format discs. Those are always fun. Oh yeah. Another ST format disc. Oh yeah, man. Let me make sure the right protected. Make sure you can see it. Let me right protect this one. I love getting magazine discs. These are so cool. Okay, so we got that. I'll put these back in this little sandwich bag here. Yeah. The sandwich bag. Alright, what next? We've got the actual power supply to the US Robotics 56K modem. That's always nice. It's got that kind of a standard connector, so that's nice. Got the actual power supply to the modem. That's always good. Let's see, we've got disk drive cable right here. Appears to be in pretty good shape. Yep, pretty good shape, boys and ghouls. And we got, now one of these should be the monitor cable. That might be the, well, I don't know. No, that's not the monitor cable. I don't know, is that a disk drive? Yeah. Here's another, I think, another disk drive cable. This looks like it's different, or a little bit beefier or something. A little bit beefier. Look at that, how thick that cable is. Wow. This is a good quality cable right here. Oh yeah, man. I like quality. Okay, we got a couple of AC power cords. I don't need to show you guys that. I'm sure you've seen power cords. Alright. Next up, we have this Atari SF354 single-sided disk drive. SF stands for single floppy. And I was actually looking for another one of these drives for my early Atari 520ST computer, the one that came out, that was only released in 1985. That first issue Atari ST computer uses single-sided drives like this. So I wanted to have a pair of them for that particular computer. A lot of the early Atari ST programs were actually on single-sided discs, and this includes a lot of the games from back then too. And they only required 512K of memory. So, yeah. Anyway, there appears to be a disk in here. We'll take a look at that disk in a moment. But anyway, this drive appears to be in good shape. I am going to take it apart and clean it, refurbish it, recap this board here. I'll replace the belt, because these single-sided drives are belt-driven, and the belts are usually worn out. So I'll take off the old belt, put on a brand new belt, and recap the board on the disk drive and the board in the rear. I'll recap that board too. But yeah, this drive appears to be in really nice shape. I'm so happy about that. It's a really nice shape. Yeah. Alright, let's take a look at this disc. It appears to be an ST Action disc, a magazine disc. So we will be taking a look at this disc when I have my Atari ST set up out here. So stay tuned for that exciting content. All right. So let me put this in the bag with the rest of my original discs. I have a disc bank I can put these in later on. All right. Next up, we've got this SF314. There's a double-sided drive, but it's in really bad shape. I don't even know what drive this came out of, but that's in really bad shape. Look at that. Rotten shame. So on this drive here, okay, the bottom appears to be in really good shape, so I'll keep the bottom, you know, plus the screws. I'll keep the bottom. The drive's not even mounted. Look at this. It's not mounted. It's not mounted. But I'll keep the screws. I'll keep the bottom. I'll keep the circuit board that's inside there. Oh, and I got some stuff that I can use that dissolves the adhesive. And I'll remove this aluminum badge here. I want to keep that because it appears to be in really nice shape. Nothing wrong with that badge. Okay. But I'll throw this top piece in the garbage because it's basically junk. It's crap. Throw that in the garbage. Now the drive, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'll take it out, see what kind of drive that is. I may keep it. I may not keep it. Who knows? But yeah, rotten shame about that. Because I'm actually looking for another Atari SF314 disc drive. I've got one already, but I'm looking for another one. I like to have two of each. Yeah. Alright, next up, we've got the Atari power supply. I'll clean this up really good. I'll test the voltages out, make sure this power supply is okay before I hook it up to the disk drive. But this is for the one of the disk drives. I guess you can use it for either one. But I'm going to use this with that single-sided drive that's in good shape. I'll sponge bath this really good. And yeah, I'll get like a cardboard box to put this in, and I'll keep it with that drive. But yeah, anyway, that's the power supply. I don't know if you can read any of that text on the bottom there, but there's the power supply. It's got that kind of connector on it. All right. Okay. We got this Atari mouse, original paperwork. Original mouse paperwork. Got the Atari ST Basic Quick Reference Guide for the Advanced Programmer. Not too much in here. Mainly, you know, boring text, unless you're in the programming. I'm not. I'm mainly a hardware guy. But I have done programming in the past. Okay. Next we have the Atari SF354 micro floppy disk drive, single-sided double density disk drive manual for use with all Atari ST computers, the original owner's manual. And this one is still sealed. It's brand new, never been opened, never been used. It's interesting to note that this original manual, the older, you know, the early manuals, were printed in Japan. Yeah, a lot of this stuff for the early computers were made in Japan. Japan and Hong Kong. Here's the original manual for the Atari ST computer. Just going to go through it real quick. ST computer specifications. And then I think we have like the pinouts. Next up, we've got the Atari ST Basic sourcebook and tutorial, a programming language for the ST computer. And this is actually a really nice basic. It's a very advanced basic for the Atari ST. Yeah, this is really nice. Thumb through the book real quick. Now, we will be doing some Atari ST programming. I'm thinking about next year sometime when I have my Atari ST computer set up out here. We'll take a look at some of this programming in ST Basic, and yeah. Next, we have another Atari ST computer manual, owner's manual, but I think this is a later issue because it's lower quality. It doesn't have the nice binding here on the edge, you know. Yeah. It's basically the same thing on the inside though, so basically the same thing, you know, on the inside. Yeah, same thing on the inside. And we have some books. I like the front cover of this one, Working with the Atari ST. And this one, this Atari ST model was only sold for the last few months of 1985. Along with these hard-to-find disk drives, these single-sided drives. Here, I'm actually looking for those drives. This is the rarest of the Atari ST computers. The very first issue of the 520ST. This is the rarest of the Atari ST computers. Oh yeah. Yeah. These were only sold for the last few months of 1985. And then starting in January of 1986, Atari quickly switched over to the 1040 style case, even for the 520STs. Oh yeah. And the reason for that is a cost-cutting measure. That they can make more. It costs less to produce the Atari ST computer, and they would make more profit because the disk drive and the power supply would be inside the computer itself. Whereas with these first issue Atari 520ST computers, the disk drives were external and the power supply was external. So it costs more to produce this particular model. So yeah, this is the rarest of all the Atari ST computers. This model right here is so rare that I was willing to trade an Atari 1040 STE computer. Yes, you heard that right. A 1040 STE computer to get my hands on one of these models. These right here. That's how rare this one is. Oh yeah. And I have this computer refurbished already and proudly displayed on one of the shelves out here in the shop. Yeah, you'll see it in some of the videos. You'll actually see this Atari ST proudly displayed on one of the shelves out here in my shop. Yeah, I like the picture on this. I'm most likely going to have this book displayed somehow because I really like that picture. I really like that picture. Really cool. All right, next up. Well, let me take a quick coffee break first. I'll be right back. All right, next up, we've got Compute's second book of Atari ST. Yeah, Compute's second book, okay, of the Atari ST computer. Got a lot of programs in here, including laser chess. But yeah, look at that. Yeah, it comes with a disc too. A disc that, that has the programs. So yeah, comes with a disc that goes in this sleeve. I took it out and put it with the rest of my Atari ST discs because this milder stuff here, it has a way of affecting the adhesive of the label, the disc label. It causes it to get real gummy and yeah, I didn't want it to mess up the disc, so I removed the disc from here. But I do have the disc to this book. Okay, and we have right here the revised edition presenting Atari ST, an in-depth look at the sensational new computer that promises to bring you power without the price. That's right, boys and ghouls. The Atari ST Super Microcomputer. That's right. The only computer back then that blew the doors off this computer is, of course, the Amiga. That's right. Atari ST couldn't touch the Amiga. And no, I'm not part of that stupid little Amiga versus Atari ST war that a lot of you dumbasses are involved in. No. I've always owned both the Amiga and the Atari ST. So I'm speaking from experience when I tell you that the Amiga is clearly superior to the Atari ST. It is the better computer. But does that mean that the Atari ST is a bad computer? No. It's my second favorite computer of all time. I love the Atari ST. Even though the Amiga is superior. It's a better computer, a much more powerful computer. I still love the Atari ST. It's a really nice computer. I really like the Atari ST. My second favorite computer of all time. All right. What next? Well, we got the manual. We got the manual to Superstar Ice Hockey. Okay, the original manual. Well, and here's, I think, the quick reference guide right here. Quick reference guide to it. And we have Balance of Power for the Atari ST. This actually looks really good on the Atari ST. It really does. This is one of the only games, if I remember correctly, it actually works on both the color monitor and the monochrome monitor. You can use either monitor with this game. Now the disc I took out, I have the disc put away. I took the disc out, but I do have the disc for this. So, yeah. But anyway, there's that. Balance of power for the Atari 520ST computer. Now this, if I remember correctly, is one of the earlier games for the Atari ST. This one here. It's one of the earlier games for the ST. I also have this for the Macintosh computer, and it looks really good on the Macintosh. Alright, so now let's look inside the Atari 520ST computer and see what kind of upgrades have been done to it. Okay, here is the Atari 520ST FM computer. FM stands for floppy disk drive and RF modulator. So this is the Atari 520ST FM model of this computer. So let's open this up. You need to use a low torque screwdriver like this one. Okay, low torque screwdriver like that one. Do not use a standard or a full-size number 2 Phillips like this. This is too heavy and it's got way too much torque for screws that are going into plastic. Okay. Another thing is, if you got that type of screwdriver where it's got the handle and you got all these tips that fit the handle, pause this video, go ahead and throw that thing into the garbage. Okay, throw that into the garbage. Don't even use that. If you're going to be working on vintage computers, especially computers like this where it has metal screws going into a plastic case, invest in a good set of screwdrivers. Okay, don't be lazy, don't be stupid. I recommend these screwdrivers here. They're made in Germany. I don't know if you can read the name or not, but these are made in Germany, and they're really nice screwdrivers. All right, so let's open up this Atari ST and see what's inside. Now, the thing I do like about this Atari ST, it's got the more desirable disk drive. I like this drive better than that other one that has a big eject button, that fancy type faceplate. I don't like it. This one I like more. This is also the drive that I prefer in the Mega ST. The Mega ST also has either the older style drive or this one, and I prefer this drive here. Now, because this Atari ST has this style drive, it means it's a later issue Atari ST, which means that the motherboard, there's a good chance it will have the place for the blitter chip, where you just solder on that socket and you plug in your blitter chip. There's a good chance it'll have the blitter chip area on the motherboard, but we'll see. We'll take a look at it. We'll see. Okay, this is a heavy computer. The Atari ST computer is actually a very heavy computer. It really is. It's a heavy computer. All right, so we'll take these out here. Remember, a small, lightweight, low torque number 2 Phillips screwdriver is what you want for these screws here. Okay. Alrighty, there's that. Take this out here. All right. So let's, okay, they should come out. So we've got, should be, there's 4, 5, 6. They all appear to be the same size. Yeah, they appear to be the same size, so yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it should be 7 screws. Okay, 7 screws for the case. And they appear to be the same size. Well, we'll take a look at them underneath the camera. They appear to be the same size screws. And they're self-tapping into plastic. That's another reason why you want to use a small, low-torque screwdriver, not a full-size, heavy number 2 Phillips. Alright, so there's those 7 screws. And now we'll take off the lid of this Atari ST computer. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, Mr. Campbell. Just as long as it's semi-perfect, that's good enough. You lift up on this end here, and then there you go. Now, it doesn't appear that any of these are suffering from fatigue. They're still pretty good. And the same thing with these here. They're not split. So that's a good thing. They're not split. And these here sometimes are split, and these are not split. So that's good. The case appears to be in really nice shape. It just needs to be washed, you know, which I will do. And even that nameplate is real nice and shiny. It's not scratched, because usually this aluminum is scratched up. But this one appears to be in really nice shape. So I'm real happy about that. I think this will clean up and it'll look like brand new when I get finished with it. Alright, here's the keyboard. I'll definitely be blowing the dust out of this keyboard and refurbishing it. It's absolutely filthy. That's what the keyboard looks like. Yeah. Now the thing about these usually loosen up, so these have to be retightened. But when that happens, sometimes the solder connections, especially on the joystick, or excuse me, the mouse port, they'll become loose, and you'll have to suck up the old solder and reflow the solder. But in order to do that, you got to take this keyboard apart to do that, to reflow that solder. So if you ever have mouse problems or joystick problems here, that's what you have to do to fix that. Alright, so let's take these screws out. I believe these are just standard machine screws, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, standard machine screws right here. Yeah. These are just standard machine screws. Yep, standard machine screws. All right. Okay, I need to remove this. There's 3 of these screws going into, screwing down the motherboard. And you have to be careful. Do not get these mixed up with the other ones, because these screws are shorter. So do not get them mixed up with the case screws. They are shorter. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Now, we're going to need pliers like this. These are called flat nose pliers or duckbill pliers. These are perfect for I'm straightening out these tabs right here. Okay, so that you can remove that shield a lot easier. Okay, same thing with this here. Remove that shield. All right. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Yeah, like that. This one here. Yeah, that should be fine there. One over here, or two over here. All right, that's fine. One here. All right, so that's ready to come off. I'll first take this one off. Yeah, I'll be wiping all this down with WD-40. You know, it conditions the metal, makes it like new again, and then I'll wipe it down with a 100% cotton rag, because you don't want like an oily film on this. You just want to wipe it down with WD-40 and wipe off, you know, wipe it clean. And that should condition this metal. But before I do that, I'll use vinegar on the rust spots. Let that set overnight, and then that'll take care of that rust. And then I'll wipe down the metal with WD-40. It should be fine. Should be fine, boys and ghouls. Should be fine. Okay, so we got there. Okay. Now, this has to be removed. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I think before I can remove the shield, I got to remove the power supply. Wow, that's really bulging right there. I will have to replace that power supply. That is really bulging. That that capacitor right there is really bulging. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. So, okay, there are two screws here that hold down the power supply. They have to come out. Yeah, they gotta come out. I grab my tweezers, pull these out, keep them separate because they go into the power supply. Okay, so let's pull the power supply out. Wow, it's not wanting to come out. No, come on. But look at that. I've never seen a cap bulge that much. But look, it's like rounded on the top. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but wow. This cap needs to be replaced. Definitely, that one right there needs to be replaced. Yeah. And this one here, see how the plastic covering or whatever has come down? That means there's a problem with that cap. It's not supposed to look like that. So that capacitor will have to be replaced. Let me get my pointer. Yeah, that capacitor definitely needs to be replaced because it's bulging on the top. And this capacitor here will have to be replaced. So I might as well just go ahead and recap the whole power supply. Yeah. Yeah, recap the whole power supply. Alright, so I'm going to put this someplace where it won't get lost. Okay. So now we should, well actually I got to remove the disk drive. See, I knew I should have took out those screws. I knew I should have took out them screws. Power supply screws are just machined. They're pretty long, about, I don't know, an inch and a half long for those screws. Machine thread. Okay. So pull that out, and then I should be able to get the drive out. Okay, well, come out of there. Come out of there, you. Okay. Okay. It looks like an Epson drive, made in Japan. I'm not sure if this is single-sided or double-sided. I think it is a double-sided drive. So, yeah, I'll be doing a complete refurbishment of this drive. I'll take it completely apart. I'll take the plastic piece off, the eject button off. I'll wash this really good, rinse it, let it air dry overnight. I'll put some vinegar where it's these rust spots, let that set overnight, and then wipe this whole, just the top part, the outer part with WD-40 to keep it from rusting or oxidizing anymore. And then the inside, I'm going to clean really good. I'll use when I put this drive back together, I'll use a head cleaning disc to clean the heads. But I am going to take this apart, blow it out with my air compressor, and clean in here, and then relubricate the parts that need to be relubricated. And I'm also going to replace if there's any electrolytic capacitors on the board here, I'll replace those. I'll recap the board. And then this drive should work fine. It should be fine. It should work fine. All right, so now we should be able to take the shield off. Okay, so let's take the shield off. Top shield should come right off. Yep, should come right off. Oh, wow. Okay. There's one here holding it. That's okay. There. Now it should come right off. Got to be careful with that brass piece there for the drive. Damn it. Alright, get this off of here. I'll be cleaning this with WD-40. It's filthy. Frickin' filthy. But there's the Atari ST 520ST computer. So I think the only upgrades that I see that was done on this, I believe it had just one row of memory soldered on at the factory. And then somebody soldered on another row of chips. It's probably this top row. And the way I can tell it's the top row is because they forgot to solder on these capacitors right here. See? That's how I can tell if this is the original row. They forgot to solder on these caps. Right there. So I have these capacitors, so I'll go ahead and solder them on here. Also, when they soldered these chips in, they should have put sockets in. So you can just plug these in. Now this is the 2 ROM version instead of the 6 ROM version. So, I'm going to have to get the 2, actually, I'm wondering if I can get Rainbow, the 2-chip version of Rainbow TOS, because I want to replace TOS 1.0 with Rainbow TOS, which is version 1.4. It fixes a lot of bugs on the board. Okay, this motherboard does not have a place for the blitter chip. Actually, no, I spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. There it is, right there, boys and ghouls. You just unsolder this solder right here, solder in this type of a socket right there, and you can plug in the blitter chip. Oh yeah, I mean, the blitter chip is sort of like the Agnes chip of the Amiga computer. So it speeds up functions, you know, just like the Agnes does. It's a blitter chip. It speeds up your graphics functions. Yeah, it's really cool. So I will be adding one of those. So this is a newer version of this board. Now that's actually very nice. I didn't realize it was a newer version. Yeah, I'm real happy about that. When I do this upgrade, I will show you guys how to do it. I'll actually do it underneath the camera. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Yeah, Atari 520ST Rev 1. But it's got the blitter chip. The place for the blitter chip. So that's actually very nice. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this Atari 520ST pickup video for November of 2023. Stay tuned for more exciting content on the Hans Campbell Show. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, hey, maybe you should subscribe. Because by subscribing, that gives me the incentive to continue creating wonderful content for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, that's it for this video. My name is Hans George Campbell. And until next time.